We go. World of Ability Podcast Network Productions. We have Emily Gallmer, the star hostess, recording and live to YouTube and everything she's going to explain. Take it away, Emily. World of Ability.
Welcome everybody to the World of Ability, which is part of the World of Ability Podcast Network that was started a couple of years ago in 2020. The World of Ability is the anchor or one of the anchor shows of the World of Ability Podcast Network, which was launched on July 26, 2020, which was the 30th anniversary of the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And so I am Emily, one of the co-hosts today, along with Kurt Ruskoff, and we are happy to have several new people on today, with Tanya, Maria, Ralph, Sean. May have a couple other people joining us sometime in the next hour. But pass it for you to Kurt.
All right, here we go. It's like sports, folks. We go from one player to the next. So I'm happy to be here. Yours truly, Kurt Ruskoff, co-founder of this, your World of Ability podcast show. And yes, this is how we like to do it. We learned how to do this a little bit from the Happy Neighborhood Project, the happiest place in the world for business people. So happy business networking going on, bringing us together. A format of introduction, breakout room, halftime show, breakout room, closing, finale. That's how we spend our hours in happy business networking. And so that breakout room portion is a little bit of what we're resembling here at the World of Ability podcast. So we're going to enjoy a nice, friendly conversation. We're going to take on some introductions from our guests, but in more introduction of the World of Ability podcast that we put together and launched July 26th, 2020, the 2020 vision. And so that was the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And so let's take a pause here. In the first time in World of Ability podcast history, we have the opportunity to focus on the Americans with Disabilities Act. Why is that? Because it's law. It's how we keep it legal. It's federal law. And so there's this element of how do we protect ourselves? How do we help ourselves be compliant? How do we help, ourselves understand the situation we're in, to understand if we're in a place where we need to change what we're doing, add to what we're doing, take something away, do something because of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And so we're going to have that opportunity this hour, not to keep diving into that, but just to think in terms of these situations where law obviously matters. We want to be legal. We want to be in good standing with our government. We want to have favor by our agencies because we're doing things the way we ought to be agency friendly, and just with our fellow Americans, to just do good to and by each other. And law is one way that we can have that barometer of what we do. So that is something that needed to happen in America. We needed the law of the land to change because there's expression of what's it going to take? An act of Congress? And that's in the realm of justice, social justice, just plain doing the right thing with each other and being equitable to all Americans. We needed big time, the Americans with Disabilities Act. So back to the World of Ability podcast show. Throughout a year of programming, if you go back into our history, you'll find out year by year, we're spanning the areas of faith, service, education, government, business, work, and then all the fun things we do, whether it's sports, rec, hobbies, pastime, leisure, travel, entertainment, the things that we do that is rewarding. When we say that we don't live to work, we work to live, when we put our work aside, we say, work hard, play hard. What is it that we do to go ahead and favor ourselves and to reward ourselves? We do all of that. And in disability advocacy live streaming, we get the conversation started with some demographics. People with intellectual and developmental disabilities, the deaf community, the blind community, people with physical disabilities, those that live with chronic pain, everyone with a mental health diagnosis, and anyone who has a goal of substance use reduction. And when you keep unpacking this, it starts to get to be a social work conversation, social mission, social ministry, social enterprise. And then here we're having talk show. For sure, very social. So Emily, take it back. You're running the party. Our lead hostess with the mostest, Emily Gomer, OMG, EMG.
Okay, I think since Kurt, you were first brought up the legal thing here, I think we are going to bring Maria Felicia in here from Legal Shield. We met Maria through the Happy Neighborhood Project, and more specifically, the Hispanic Entrepreneurs room meeting, whatever you want to call it. So Maria, why don't you come in here and say a little bit about who you are, what you do?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Emily. Yes, I'm super excited to be here today. I think it's, my very first podcast. And so this is new territory for me. And, hey, meeting Emily and Kurt, I thought, the work that I'm doing and have been for the past 15 years with prepaid legal services go in complete alignment, equal access, equal justice, leading the social revolution that we like to say in our company. Yes, again, Maria Galicia here in Northern California. So it's a beautiful sunny day out here in Northern California. And what I've been doing with Legal Shield for the past 15 years is just that, is having a better way, a tool, a resource that I like to say for folks that, need help and that need justice, from anything from something trivial to something traumatic, to be able to have access whenever you need to and know your rights in every situation or in any situation is really priceless. And so prepaid legal services for the past 50 years have been providing nationwide access to an entire law firm for those life events that come up, and in particular for small business owners, which is where I also spend a big deal of my time, is protecting small business owners and giving them access with Legal Shield, as well as ID Shield. So the other service that we help individuals and small business with is identity theft. Now, you all know what identity theft is. I think the media and just things, really have brought a new light, into what can happen when your identity is compromised. And so we have a tool, a resource that allows folks to protect themselves, because you can't really, guarantee against it. That's certainly not the case. But once it actually happens, to have a resource that can help you unravel, get to, to the bottom of it, to help make you whole again, is the other service that we've been providing for the last 50 years. And me in particular with the company 15. So thank you very much. Emily, back to you.
So yes, we can maybe bring in our couple other people that we have here. We have Miss Tanya, which we also met through the Happy Neighborhood Project.
Yes, absolutely.
We just had a 2-to-1 or yesterday. And
definitely. For a 2-for-1, I got to speak to 2 people by booking 1 meeting. It's more you guys, you got the shorter end of the stick because you only met with 1 person, but I think I have enough energy to entertain 2 individuals.
But Tanya, do you want to say a little bit about what you do? Like you're in the
Yeah,
trading business, right?
Certainly, and I love what Maria said, so I just want to give a shout out to her. What really stuck with me was the equal access, because Maria, being in the Hispanic chapter of the Happy Neighborhood, or the Hispanic neighborhood of the Happy Village, almost at this point, I really love that, because I consider the services we offer equal access, but we specialize it with money. So Maria is offering equal access to rights and protection, and we are offering equal access to money. What do I mean by that? We offer a training program that will educate individuals on how to trade their own money in order for them to earn their own funds, create their own economy. And that's why I wanted to share this opportunity with the World of Ability, because whether you have a disability or you do not, or you are in Canada, this is where I'm phoning in from, a member of the protected groups, so a visible minority, women, no offense to Kurt, but he is right now outnumbered. Not every individual will have that equal access to, as Maria said, those legal services, or in what we look after is access to money, opportunity in the conventional job market. So through the training program that we offer, super comprehensive. It's not weeks of your life, it's a few hours that you can do within the weekend. Definitely, you can start trading money, building that wealth for yourself, and participating in the wealth cycle. So I'm really happy to be here, super excited to help and empower everyone to reclaim control of their finances. And so you've got Maria helping them reclaim control or retain control of their identity, retain control of their legal rights, and then myself helping individuals reclaim control of their finances to remove that dependence from external factors where, oh, I have to wait for this or I have to wait for that. Really saying I am kind of the captain of my own ship and taking matters into your own hands. So back to you, Emily.
Next person is also through the Happy Neighborhood Project. Now, I'm sure you can probably tell that Karen and I are all about the Happy Neighborhood Project. However, and quite a few of our guests have been through the Happy Neighborhood Project. However, you do not need to be a part of the Happy Neighborhood Project in order to be on the show, even though that's where we've been getting quite a few of our guests. So just to put out there, we're not, what's the word? Barring anybody who's not part of the Happy Neighborhood Project. But so I'm bringing Ralph in here, and hi Ralph. You are on mute, buddy.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
Would you like to say a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, I'm Ralph Dana with Dana
Perfect.
Sales, MarketAmericaShop.com. I'm in every multi-billion-dollar industry, which means we have our jewelry line, our makeup line, our skincare line, anti-aging line, baby products, anything from supplements to vitamins to bathing and diaper cream. We have our own isotonics essentials, which is our vitamins and supplements that when you mix it with water and drink it first thing in the morning, it goes right into the small intestines, 90 to 95% of it, which gives your body that much ability to absorb. So the healthier that your digestive system is, the more your body absorbs. Our products are all tested by our scientists and doctors, and then the manufacturers that manufacture it first do testing also. And it comes back to us, and if it doesn't meet our qualifications, it goes back with our quality control team. But the main thing I want to talk about is teaching people how to have a second stream of income and able to save a family of 4 over $18,000 a year on the products that they're already buying. Those are the people I'm looking for. We're an international company. We're over 20,000 strong, and we're continuing to grow. And every month we add a new millionaire to our club, and it's we're constantly working to train people that they can do this on a part-time basis. It's not an anytime basis. It is a part-time business. You get out of it what you put into it. And would love to do trainings with anybody. Back to you, Emily.
Here. I think our last person have down here, which I think we actually met through our daily 12 o'clock shakedown, I believe, which is 15 minutes of music and motion, but we can talk about that later. But Carrie, do you have anything you want to add in here before we can get conversation going here?
Sure, I want to give
Wonderful guest.
Sean a little chance to come forward. And Sean, if you kind of want to give a little glimpse into your life and what you're trying to do day by day, where are your passions at, Sean? What do you like to talk about?
What you want to do? What you want to say? Well, me, I'm a disabled adult. I was born premature, and 40 years old. I live with a bunch of women around me, and it's funny, but it's not funny, Tanya. I like they're older, and I love helping them. And
I was gonna say you're lucky. That's why I was smiling, because I'm like, oh, he has it very good because of the nurturing nature of women. So it wasn't laughing, rest assured. It was more like, oh, he is in good hands.
yeah, like you said, because like it's funny, but this place was meant for like disabled adults, and person had money, a lot of money. From Mississippi, New Orleans, Mississippi. After the Katrina came, they took their houses down. So they went to Upper Covington, where I live. 12 houses. You get a meal every day. You get 4 roommates. I'm going to have a 5th roommate in my house because they're having problems getting in anywhere. It's mostly a women's facility. It left a lot of money back in the day. And like, I never thought I would live by myself. And my mom was always scared that something happened to them with what would happen to me. And I'm grateful that my mom was right at the road from that. It was about 15, 20 minutes. All my family's in the medical field. So, and, and I'm grateful that I live in a place that I know down the line I'll be taken care of for the rest of my life. And I have 2 autistic roommates that I adore, honestly. I check them all the time just to make sure they're okay. And I love living here because I have a peace of mind, and they give me so much, the ladies give me so much joy every day. And I love people's smiles on their faces. And I hug them every day, like 5 days a week. I like give people hugs because I think hugs are good for everybody. But like, I love the happiness. I love this network because like, I love going to exercise, and I missed it today because I was eating lunch. And so like, I love exercising. I love cheer exercise, and that's very fun that I've learned to do. And I exercise like with them on them all the time, and it's amazing to see who you find, like, besides me and her, you never know who you might find in this ability world that I live in. Everybody from blind, doesn't matter what you have around here, it's all a mixture of everybody around here. So I'm grateful that I can help people because I, y'all, you know what? I get that all the time. They always tell me, "Thank you, Sean." Like, as long as I can do it, that's all what, that's all what, like, I like to do that because I could be that person one day, and they might push me around, or I might just not see, but like, I'm grateful to help others and around my community, and it's just amazing, like it's like what people get out of me. It's like it's so satisfying that I know in my heart I'm helping somebody, and like they always tell me like, "Thank you, Sean." I don't ask for anything in return. I never will because I'm just, I guess I'm a God blessed angel, and I was born premature. It's supposed to be blind, but like I was supposed to be blind, and once I was 2 years old, but like I had PTOT all my life, and I made it through 40 years. I'll be 41 in 2 months. So like I'll be 41 in 2 months. I survived everything that everybody threw at me. Everybody survived. Every doctor told me this, told me that. I survived everything that God put me through, and like I survived everything that everybody thrown at me. That you can think, that you can say too. I think I survived everything that people have told me, that doctors have told me, and pray for my parents to be good for me, and pray for my brother and sister that are always there for me. I need somebody to talk to, and I have a special friend that I talk to. Like he deals with special needs kids, and we talk on a daily basis. We talk on a daily basis, and he has issues, and I do too. Like we talk every day just to make sure he's okay and I'm okay. So like I'm grateful to be in this happy project neighborhood. So I'm complete.
All right, excellent, Sean. Thanks for sharing. All right, so this is definitely a show. This is reality video going on here. Emily, our lead hostess, kind of went dark on us here. So I guess she's kind of relegating it to me. I'm trying to take the smoke signals here and
I
run
think
with
she fell in Tony's flow funnel, sales funnel.
There we go.
Hey, Tony.
So
Good to see you.
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
Sorry
Tony.
I'm late.
It's oh no, you're right. You're right on time. So this makes it more dramatic because Tanya was talking about at the beginning. We had Emily and Maria and she were spotlighted, and I was the only one with the three ladies, and we're talking about how I was outnumbered. And then now as the minutes are ticking, we keep bringing another guy, and then here we got you dudes. So now we got the I hate to say it, almost like male dominance thing happening here. It's not really a great phrase we like to refer to, but if we're trying to have fun and be funny and humorous, we'll go with it. And I think I might be able to promise for Tony that before we close out the show, we'll have some special selection jokes or riddles or maybe some parable. But Tony, yeah, he comes in here and he flashes us the show me the money graphic, with his Zoom profile. And when I got to know him through, his home entrepreneurship setup, super smart marketing. And then we kind of learned about this Now site, that through the Canadian stuff and European position and whatever else is going on around the world with Now site. And as we say, as Tanya let the cat out of the bag, the HMP happy sales flow. Tony's got some tools, artificial intelligence with a lot of that super smart marketing, real intelligence, and goes together like a package. So Tony, you want to continue on a little bit with today's show? What do you want to pull out of your autobiography today?
Wow. Thank you, Kurt. Peace and blessings from Omaha, Nebraska. I am so excited. I can't stand it. Well, Tony, why are you so excited? Well, being a founding affiliate with NowSite 2.0, we get to are, beyond the shadow of a doubt, the world's first marketing firm to fully, not just one or two features, fully integrate with the most powerful technology to date. Artificial intelligence by OpenAI Chat GPT-3. Simply amazing. For example, we do offer the world's first lead generation search engine powered by AI. However, a billion-dollar company initiated by and founded by Elon Musk called OpenAI, and Adam Murdoch runs it, started out being a nonprofit, oddly enough, to benefit humanity. Microsoft was so impressed, they put $1 billion into it. And 8 weeks ago, they went public. And to give you some perspective, it took Facebook 41 months to have 1 million users. It took OpenAI 5 days. And what is that, Tony? For instance, you say you have an email campaign, you would like to invite people to your nonprofit. Maybe you want a 90-day drip campaign, 3 days, 7 days, 14 days, 30, 60, 90. You type it in to the chat or speak it, or have it be a video of you speaking it before your very eyes. It's on the screen. A perfectly crafted professional email right there in real time. Error-free, no grammatical errors. And if it's too sophisticated, you could say, I like this, but simplify it so that a 9th grader understands it. Immediately. Make it so technical that only people with PhDs understand it. This is the future now, in real time. Well, we have that technology. And get the power of what I'm saying. The first in the world. All we've done the last 6 years at NowSite was prepare for this. We didn't see this coming. As our founder says, if you put your head down and stay diligent, magical things happen. It couldn't have been a better fit. Now, OpenAI is free. But as I aforementioned, there's so many users, sometimes it shuts down. And when people use it, this is the problem that we solved. If you speak that email, you need to have somewhere to put it. We have the websites, the platform, the email, the SMS. It's just a beautiful fit. We couldn't have been better poised. We knew we were going to have a powerful 2023, but this is way over our skis for a lot of people. And I'm just excited to be a partner with the Happy Neighborhood Project. And mind you, I probably would not be sitting here today if it wasn't for Kurt and Emily. Kurt welcomed me with open arms. I love him like a brother. I love him enough to where we've agreed to disagree and still be brothers. Emily has been the go-between in the middle. She's been a referee, a friend, a confidant. And it's just exciting to be a part of this. So anything Emily and Kurt mentioned, I will make a gallant effort to be in attendance, is why I'm here today. So I probably missed something. I'm about to, in 45 minutes, have another Zoom with another CEO who wants his partner to see this technology to use it. So peace and blessings from Omaha, Nebraska.
I'm proud of you, Tony.
Thank you. Any questions, or did I go over
I
my?
think you got to check in with Emily. Emily, what's next on this your World of Ability podcast show? Emily Gomer, OMG. How are we doing?
We're good. I was just putting ourselves out there with our YouTube link, which I would ask all of you to after we're done here to kind of promote the show with the link and that kind of thing. But yeah, does anybody have any questions for anybody else on here?
All right, if we're gonna go open mic, I'm gonna jump in here and I'm gonna bounce this back to Maria. You know, again, this is a celebration, folks. I talked about the celebration of ADA that we do every year, July 26th. So now, boy, what's today's date? January what, 27th today? Whatever.
28th.
28th.
28th. Oh my gosh, I gotta catch up. And it's not even because Ian's here. But
Yeah, we don't have the future here yet.
so everybody make your little notes and get that note for Ian, January 29th over by him in Australia. You know, today was the first. You heard it at the beginning of the show, right? This is the first podcast for Maria. So now this becomes an annual celebration. We'll see if we can make sure that it, you know, however many times she shows up this year, but a year from now, we're going to see if we can book her again for a podcast to keep this as an annual event, you know, first annual, second annual, and then plus maybe 100 shows in between. What do you think, Maria?
Woohoo!
Well, this is
Sounds like a plan.
Kurt, this is Tanya's first time being on the World of Ability too.
Well,
I'm not
yeah.
sure that's the first. Not sure if it's the first time on a podcast, but first time on the World of Ability podcast.
Yeah, congratulations. Welcome aboard the ship.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, she has a question then, Tanya. You know, how many podcasts have you been on in your life?
So I started last year. So Maria, you're not that far behind me.
A whole year.
And I believe I did 4 or 5 in 2022. So definitely it's really nice. I will say this, I must give credit where credit is due. This is my first public podcast of 2023. So we can definitely celebrate that, because the other appearances have been myself putting content out there or speaking to another individual, but as a guest, this is the first. So Maria, I am right there with you this year.
Well, I am so glad that you are all in this room as my first for the podcast, because it's a lot easier when it's in a group setting. At least that's the vibe I'm getting right now. So I truly appreciate being on here with all of you superstars and learning about you all. So
and you see the neighborhood came with you to be all happy.
I know, right?
A happy environment. And you know, it's my first time meeting Sean. However, Ralph and Tony, that's why I knew when they came on, I'm like, oh, this is the perfect audience for
It's a party.
Maria. But with Sean's gratitude, I'm like, look, this is a powerhouse right here. I know Emily was doing some work with Clubhouse yesterday, but Emily, the Saturday can now be considered the powerhouse.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we brought the whole I think the whole neighborhood today. But we can everybody can keep inviting everybody, you know, to join us. Anybody is welcome.
Absolutely. And
Anybody knows of anybody who's interested? Take 'em on.
you mentioned a great point, Emily, the world of ability. Well, this call is international. So we've
Right.
got pretty much all corners of the US being covered. Then you've got Canada being included. So the world has at least included North America. We still have other continents to include.
Yeah, we still have to accomplish the other,
Yes,
the
but I
rest of
mean,
the other continents.
look,
but-
in Ian's defense, down under, it is beauty time for
Right.
them getting their sleep. So, you know, they're with us in spirit. And oddly enough, I wouldn't want their snoring to pollute our call. So we'll let them get their rest.
So Maria, I want to jump back over to you and ride this element of first. So let's wind back the clocks and let's go back to a day, back to the era when Maria didn't know anything about Prepaid Legal Services Incorporated. Like it wasn't even in the consciousness. But then somebody entered into the scene for Maria and introduced this. Tell us what that was like. How did your eyes get opened to PPLSI?
Yeah, well, my husband and I were looking to open a business, and we were able to collaborate and have a little mastermind with people that were looking to do similar things that we were. And in one of those, we actually were formal. There was a full board, and so the president would always had really good guest speakers come speak to us about the different things that we as business owners in that particular industry needed to know about. And one of them was a PPLSI Legal Shield rep. And she came in, the sweetest thing, lady, you know, and just shared with us. And the way that it was approached, I think, was really what enticed me, because it's a value added service. So what Legal Shield and ID Shield can be for a company, for a business owner, for an individual, right? And so we were going to be sharing with business owners a way that they can obtain financing through a secondary market. And they said, well, you know, as a business owner, they need a good team, right? They need, just like they would a good accountant, a good CPA, they need a good attorney, right? To be able to run by those contracts, you know, leases that they may be signing, anything related to their business, because most business owners invest so much in their business, you know, their livelihood a lot of the times, and to have it taken away or have an issue that's going to cost them thousands of dollars to address, the Legal Shield service was a good fit, natural fit. So I thought it makes sense, you know, if I can help them in one way and help them in another, you know, it's a win-win. So I saw the value in being able to add it to a suite of services that we were going to be offering to small business owners. And so that's why business owners are really at the heart of what I like, who I like to serve, because that's kind of just how it started for me. And so I had not heard of a subscription-based model for legal services. I actually, when I was in college, I wanted to be an attorney. And because it's just in my nature, in my heart, I saw a lot of injustices growing up as a minority Hispanic in my community. And, you know, it was just something in me that I wanted to help others and help minorities be able to have access, you know, without worrying about, you know, financing their house, or, you know, or having to, you know, save up for months to be able to afford 1 hour of an attorney's time. And so when I saw that, I thought, oh, okay, I didn't pursue that career to be an attorney, but it's funny how destiny lines up with what truly is in your heart to serve. And now I'm able to do that by aligning myself and teaming up with Prepaid Legal Services and being able to offer legal services to individuals. So that's how I was introduced 15 years ago to this wonderful company and opportunity to help serve my community.
Well, even if though you're not an attorney, or at least you're in the legal
Right.
thing, like you wanted to be.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing how things line up.
There you go. So let's line up the next commentary from Wreck-It Ralph. So Wreck-It Ralph, he's a guy that's been around the block a couple times, and he's with this amazing platform for shopping, and he's got this mantra coming out as the debt crusher. And so Ralph, as you're thinking of debts and whatever, people could end up having to file bankruptcy, or so I don't know what you've all seen in your time, Ralph, but you want to speak to this a little bit? Kind of where's the legal arena for you and your business?
Sure. Everybody's facing different forms of debt. What we call good debt. You own a house, you're able to pay your mortgage every month. You have a car, you're able to pay those payments. That's all good, but it's still debt. And what we do with when we talk to people about our debt crusher, we actually sit down and teach them things that the banks don't want them to know. When you finance a car at 7% and finance a house at 7%, it's compounded differently. And today, with today's economy, a house that you're paying a mortgage on, when you fill out those mortgage papers, either page 5 or 7, depending on who the lender is, there's a page that says tips on it, and that's the bank's terminology, not ours. And that word tip stands for total interest paid. And right now, with the economy and the interest rates, you're paying between 100 and 105% of a tip to the bank for the mortgage that they wrote you. And I compare it to, if you go out to a restaurant and eat, you're not going to leave a waitress or a waiter 100 or 105% of the tip of your bill. So why are we doing it to a bank? The banks they're there to make money. They're not really your friend. You're lucky if you get 1% back on the money that you have in the bank, and they're collecting 7-8% or higher from the people that they're lending it out. They need us, but the way the banks have done things now, you can't function without having some kind of an account. And that's how the banks got themselves to be a powerhouse and actually run the economy. No other businesses would have gotten a bailout the way the banks did. We had bank executives here going to prison because they had their people knowingly writing bad mortgages where they were going to have to foreclose on senior citizens and first-time home buyers. We had banks writing, if you went to the bank to buy a house, they told you couldn't afford the first mortgage, so we're going to give you a second mortgage for the same house. Well, if you couldn't afford to buy it with one mortgage, but they're willing to give you a second one at a higher interest rate, because they knew when the second interest rate came into play, you were going to wind up losing the house in maybe a year or two. So we teach people about things the bank don't want you to know, and we show you how we can take you out of debt, tell you the exact day, month, and year that will get you out of debt, and also help you see that you can build your wealth at the same time. A lot of people think they have to be debt free before they can build wealth, and we're not going to change your lifestyle. We're not going to ask you to add an extra $1 into what you're paying. As long as you have $1 at the end of the month that is good for you, we can help you with your debt.
There you go. So, wow, Emily, Cross Bankers, Huffy, your guest invite list. That sounds like we don't welcome bankers around here. Oh man, this is
Yeah, we got legal people, we got money people, we got quite the group here.
Passionate, compassionate people. We got sales flowing this way, that way, all around the world. So let's
traders.
Traders as in trading on the market traders,
Yeah.
Let's clarify that, huh?
Yeah, right. Oh, man.
Especially being from the north, we might send the wrong signal.
Yeah, right. There you go. So speaking of going north, let's continue to elevate this. Tanya, let's pick that up as a segue. As you're hearing this about people's different financial positions and banking, and it's kind of now, it's just a little bit of a springboard. We're over into your wheelhouse. Let's speak a little bit more to this. How are you elevating people's lives, teaching them your wheelhouse of trading, getting on the markets, and doing things throughout the day, and some sort of sequence of days throughout the week and month, and kind of how does it work?
Absolutely. And I just want to echo what Ralph was saying, because you mentioned it, Kurt. It's a great springboard. So to Ralph's point, in the bank, if you get 1%, you're really lucky. In trading, if you get 1% in a day, you are struggling. Typically, you will make 3 to 5% per day trading. And those who really don't know what they're doing, sometimes they'll make 10%, because there's a saying that when you don't know how to lose, you win. And the same could be said at the casino. If you don't know what's going on at the tables, and let's say you're playing craps and you're like just shooting the dice, you're having fun, people are smiling and cheering, and everything's great. And it's only when you get the wrong numbers that they're like, oh, sorry, you finished. Oh, there's rules to this thing. I thought we were just throwing the dice and yelling and having fun. And so with trading, that's exactly the type of environment you can have. Again, I'll speak from my personal experience, because we're not here to convert or impose anything on anyone. But myself, I get that energy and that fun and that cheering when news is about to be released. So news often related to the type of commodity that I am trading, and you will see the market either go up or down, but really drastically. And so it's exhilarating for me, because you can tell a little bit what direction it's going to be. So you say, okay, let's get on this bandwagon, hold on tight, and let's see where it's going to take us. And so that's where you can generate that income for yourself. And you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to trade. And please do not go out and get a loan in order to trade funds, because then Ralph will be calling me saying, hey, I have to get all these people out of debt because they went and got a loan in order to trade. No, no, no. You can start trading with as little as $50. And honestly, I'll tell you this, because we're talking about creating our own economy. How do you do that? It seems like a foreign concept to some individuals. Well, look, I talked about the daily gains a person can make, and you don't need to be a day trader for 8 hours in order to make 1 to 3 to 5%. You can do that within 35 minutes. One time, I'll share this more entry-level example. One time, within 35 minutes, I generated the income my government job used to pay me in a day and a half of work. So again, we don't have to have tons of money in order to trade. You don't need to have tons of time in order to trade. And if we did this calculation just to show equal access, right? We're coming back to that theme. Anyone can trade. If you have $100 and you trade it on a consistent basis and you gain 5% a day, within 150 days, that $100 has grown to $100,000. Now you might say, that's a little ambitious, 5%. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's dial it back. Take that $100, grow it 3% only per day. And within 250 days, I believe, of trading, you will be at $100,000. Now you might say, well, what a big difference, 100 extra days. Yes, but can we take a step back and realize, regardless if you're getting 3% or 5%, within that year, your $100 has grown to 6 figures. Even if you were a horrible trader and you only traded half the week because you were overcome with this joy of the market spraying up and down, and you turned your $100 into $50,000, doing it on a very, very part-time basis, because 30 minutes is like break time in a regular job, right? Isn't that much more money than any type of investment in the conventional banking system would pay you? I mean, that's more than some people earn in their regular full-time jobs. So it's all about what we were alluding to before, that compound interest, whether that's in your health, that you exercise every day, or whether that's with Tony and his sales funnel, calling people every day, you'll grow your business. The same with trading. Put in some time in order to place a little trade here and there, and that small investment will grow to create that economy for yourself.
Here we go. So speaking of grow, let's take grow to sales flow. Tony, come on in here. Let's look at this combination. You know, we got the market out there. We got Ralph with the deck crusher, but he also has products that get distributed, and we got Elevate getting us out in the market and doing some trades, and Maria here kind of protecting us with everything we do in life. That you need that attorney, you got the service to do it. So, and Tony, you're in the business of leads and people business and stuff like that. What's your sense of the show we've culminated here with this crew here and so forth? How do you summarize this? And, how does NowSite and what we do at Happy Sales Flow, how does your interest come into this, Tony?
Well, I appreciate all the comments, and I really appreciate the question. And as I speak this, I'd like you to listen to what I'm about to say as they tell you when you take a flight on an airplane. Putting the oxygen mask on yourself first. With whatever you're doing. I know sometimes we get so excited because we're givers wanting to help others that we kind of sometimes neglect self. And I found when you have your own story of what it's done for you, then you're much more of a resource for others because you have the experience. Now, that said, I know also from experience that people go to podcasts, networking events, BNIs, Eventbrite, meetups, hour after hour, day after day, week after week, month after month, praying they meet someone with an open mind enough to Zoom with them so you can help them. And if you're lucky, there may be a transaction in there somewhere. Maybe. So that's where I come in. I can have what everyone in this room, we can have targeted prospects of real people who need our services. Entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small businesses, CEOs. So when we come to groups like this, we can really let our hair down and network. And when you don't have the stress of, I have no transactions this month, but the bills keep coming. I know I have what people need, but I keep seeing the same people. They're not interested in what I have. They're really not listening. So frustrating. I can have all of us, and Ralph knows this, an unlimited amount of people for you to talk to. We don't sell it for you, but we can assist. So if you have and I'll end it with a joke, curtain like this. And this is a true story. It was told to me. A friend of mine from years ago, oddly enough, from my prepaid legal days, had 11 acres of land and 8 kids. And he had a pond on his land. And he wanted to ensure that when he took his children fishing, they would catch a fish. So he stocked it with fish. I go, well, how many fish did you stock your pond with? He said, Tony, I can tell you, all I can tell you is that I stocked it with so many fish, my kids have to hide behind a tree to bait their hook. I'll let that one sink in. I think Kurt gets it. That's what we offer with SalesFlow. I can have so many people and get the power of this word, unlimited, targeted. You talk about, people that make $100,000 and up, engineers, lawyers, doctors, you name it. We can give you the geographical location. We even have a personality analysis, because oftentimes people see things as they are, not as they are. So when you can target what you're looking for, look at household income, that is crazy. So, in their neighborhood, the average income is $250,000 and up. You can target by age range, title. We need to tell you where they went to college, even what they majored in. So how many people have met people in their field who have no idea what they're talking about? And so you can educate in a non-threatening way and send a SMS campaign to them. You guys get on my schedule. I know some of you has already been on my schedule, but we really have such value in here, Kurt, that it's just, we need to amplify everything I just heard. Ralph, Tanya, Maria, Sean, I see you. We need to, this is the amplifier. I've got the amplifier. They may not come immediately, but if you drip on people and they're familiar with you, and I know this from experience, they begin to trust you. Like, oh, they're there again. They're not here today and gone tomorrow. They're in here for a while. It may take more than one Zoom. But as long as you educate, and oh, by the way, lastly, for all of your prospective areas, you can speak a blog. You can tell the software, I'd like you to blog about why people with teenagers need a legal plan. Why parents, I gotta go in 1 minute. Why people that have teenagers need to learn financial literacy. Why people know that banks are raping them blind. And an email campaign. Do you know how many people respond to that? So I can literally have more people for you to talk to than you can handle. Hope that's a good summary, Kurt.
That is an excellent summary, and we are in the summary component of this show. Maria, I don't know if you've got to go, but if you've got a minute, we do a little something called Minute to Win It. So protection is very important, and what you provide is important. So do you have any final thoughts as we're ending the show here?
Yes, absolutely. Once again, thanks for the opportunity. Super excited to have been here today. And so, as we've heard, or if you haven't heard, I'm going to tell you, if you don't know your rights, you don't have them. In this country, the equal access under the law is not a reality for everyone. So to be able to know your rights in every situation, regardless of where you're from, your background, your ethnicity, to be able to have access whenever you need to, is just super important. So again, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So yeah, and we are running a little past time here. If anybody does have to go, feel free. But Sean, I want to give you a chance, another minute to win it. Sean, what do you have?
Well, I love what you said, Maria, because disabled people have rights too, and some disabled people don't know, the mind frame, what to do and how to to have nobody and like that they don't know how to make choices for themselves. And that's the biggest thing I've learned. Being a person with cerebral palsy and scoliosis and rheumatoid arthritis is ever since I lived here, I always ask questions like, what am I signing my life away for? What is it? I ask questions. Am I the weirdest thing, y'all, is I love y'all said lawyers, but like the weirdest thing is my grandfather, my mother's mother, my mother's dad was a lawyer, and he told me stories all the time. He would sit up and tell stories of like his long days, and like, yeah, I always ask questions all the time. I said, what am I signing this for? What is it for? Because I just want to know, make sure nobody tripping me off, or I just ask questions. I've learned now since I've lived here. I ask more questions than I ever have my whole life. It's kind of weird, but like I guess because I'm older now, and I never know when like my parents might be gone, and like if something happened with them, my brother and sister would take over. But like, yeah, but yeah, I think you just said, Maria, makes so much sense because about 5 disabled people don't know their rights, and or they're not cooperative enough in their mind to make their own decisions. And it's sort of hard in the disabled community to have people that know what's going on in the world. And I'm very functional. I know what's going on, and I might have a brain of a 12-year-old, but like I know what's going on. But like I love what she just said, because you just never know the person you might reach in or whatever. Like you never know what person maybe can't write or can't read, and they ask you like can you read this to me? So you don't never know what that person is going through or has challenges to deal with, and you just never know. So I'm complete.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. So that was good rolling with Rollins here. So thanks, Sean. And Ralph, I want to give you a little moment. Any final thoughts as we're at the end of our show here?
Yeah, it was just great to be with all of you. Learned a lot from each one of you. And always out here to help. So if there's anything I can do to help you promote anything, I put my information in the chat. Feel free to get in touch with me.
Okay, will do. Thank you, Ralph. And Tanya, again, we're at the end of our show, but I want to give you a word. Any word, Tanya, as we end?
Sure. So I just want to kind of invite everyone to dictate their value and to earn the money they see for themselves. And I'm happy to assist with anyone who wants to do that. If there's other avenues that you have been eyeing, go for it. It's the start of the year. It's not too late. And I'm just excited for everyone to get on the right side of money. And this would be my parting words: develop your financial leadership and lead money to you.
There we go. All back to you and that idea of take that oxygen mask yourself first. So here we go. Let's take care of ourselves, everybody. So Emily, we're going to turn it over to you to wrap up. If anybody does have to get going, don't let us hold you up. But Emily, take it away. It's time for wrapping it up and putting a bow on it.
Kurt, do you have any last words?
Well, my last words are, yes, the World of Ability podcast, again, appreciating all the guests we had here today, and this group dynamic, I think, is key because the collaboration is key. And I got into this to start conversations, discussions. That's what we did here today. And it does open up, the idea in terms of Americans with disabilities. How are they grabbing up Prepaid Legal Services Incorporated, Prepaid Legal Services and, Legal Shield and identity theft, because that's a nightmare. We have stories out there that people with disabilities are having their benefits from people who prey upon them figuring out ways to get, can you believe that? Disability benefits are being preyed upon by thieves and people in human trafficking and so forth. So, and then the marketplace, you know, we have a cryptocurrency show on the network and so forth. So a lot of people don't have that chance to get comfortable with the marketplace, and especially in times like this, it can be a little discouraging, but to have the professionalism of Tanya is great. And, you know, Ralph, just great marketplace stuff, and that crushing. Wow, do Americans need that? And people around the world that can really learn from it. You know, and Sean, just full of heart and compassion and very compelling with everything you bring to us, Sean. Thank you so much. And, you know, and Emily, the big boss lady. I'll turn it back to you. I've said my last word.
All right, so I wanted to thank everybody for coming on today, and invite all of you back. We are here every Saturday at the same time, same Zoom, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. Also like to recognize and thank Marcus Hart of Transforming Media, Jay Swain of the Disability Channel, and Zach Clayton of the Tech Channel for allowing us to have this show on their platforms. Check out all of our social media and subscribe, like, share, comment, whatever you would like to do. Let's grab all quick announcements. Next weekend, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of February, is the 20th. Well, it'll be the 26th annual Festivus in February. For those of you who are Seinfeld fans, know about Festivus. That everybody is invited to, with games and karaoke to do this year, among other things. Also, coming up in March 17th is the National Day of Happiness, with Happy Neighborhood Project. I encourage everybody to get their tickets now, as tickets will go up to $40 starting next week. And for anyone who has any questions, comments, and so on, they can connect with me at podcastengineer54@gmail.com or at 715-303-9835 or Kurt at 262-372-1754 or abilitymkenow@gmail.com. So on behalf of me, Kurt, and the rest of the World Ability Podcast Network, we wish you a safe and productive week and to stay happy. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Take care.
Thank you, Maria. Thanks, Ralph. Thanks, Tanya, Sean. Good show.
Thank you. Take care.